Well, we're starting another interview, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs. Welcome back to all our listeners. My name is Jeffrey Davis. And again, thanks to MTP Software, the leader in sports CRM, who has built us this most wonderful studio. And, you know, I know my co-host loves it. Walter Sullivan from the law firm of Walter J. Sullivan Jr.
You're getting good at that, Junior.
Yeah, well, you know.
J doesn't stand for Jeffrey.
Really? That's not what your mother told me.
That would be a exception. No. Well, we got to keep this clean. It's a family show.
Well, not really, but our next guests are Ed Silva, CEO, and Margaret Cachel, Chief Estimator, Vantage Builders. So why don't you tell us about Vantage Builders?
So Vantage Builders started in 2000. My partner John Connor and I. We currently are in obviously the cannabis market, but a lot of corporate work, industrial, and we have close to 50 employees. Somewhere in the average to 150 to 200 subcontractors on jobs a day, men and women, and that's a little bit about us.
So you started a construction company. You've had that going for a number of years, successful. How all of a sudden do you decide to get into the cannabis business?
It's the craziest thing to fall into this business. I can still remember my first meeting I went to in a cultivation facility, and we were there most of the day, and I come home, and my son looks at me and says, "Dad, what?" And I says, "No, it isn't what you think."
Are you sure?
So it's a really interesting business that we found ourselves in, and it's taken off, and we think we're one of the leaders in the industry as far as GCs and putting the proper teams together.
So building a cannabis facility versus another, let's say, commercial facility, could you describe to us some of the differences that you have to incorporate in the building?
Sure. So typical build-out, you end up with a lot of everything, finishes, mechanical, electrical, MEPs. I think when you get into the cannabis facilities, we really concentrate on just the mechanical and the electrical. I say just, there's a lot of building envelope items that you have to address, but the mechanical and electrical systems are the most important. And I'll let Margaret elaborate a little on that as well.
I guess it's a little bit different business because of the different type of the ownership. You work directly with people once who invest the money in the business. The other, you work directly with the growers and the final user. So the main thing is you have to listen to those people first and understand what they want to accomplish and how they want to accomplish, so you can take them there. And you have to be a very involved member of the team and the design group that will include the architects and the engineers, the security consultants, and everybody. So it's basically about catering to the clients' and growers' needs.
What have you found, because you have a lot of growers coming from Colorado, California. This is not California and this is not Colorado. Developing a building that will work in order to grow. How's that interaction gone?
Yes, so we believe it's important to get the right team together right from the beginning. There's so many people in the industry, whether it's architects, engineers, attorneys. Everybody now specializes in cannabis, and most of them have never done a cannabis facility before. So
Maybe never even smoked.
They
I didn't inhale. Did you inhale?
Maybe they should start with that, right? Maybe a couple edibles. But I think it's important to do your due diligence, find the right team, put that team together, and it'll be successful. If you don't do your due diligence, check up on references, you could end up with a product that you were not expecting.
Now you're doing mostly retrofit buildings?
Most of the buildings we're doing right now are retrofit, that's correct. Yep.
And has been issues using those buildings because now you got to worry about mold and how the buildings are set up?
Go ahead.
No, actually, it has not been an issue because that's what we are geared to it. That's we're using special products, special materials, special means of methods of construction that will allow us to avoid the future problems.
Right, and I think that's what you need. That's where your expertise comes in, is not hiring just somebody who's going to build a building. There's a lot involved in ensuring.
Yes, but this is exactly what Ed said before. So if there is anybody who comes here and he will tell you, I am GC, I'm a construction manager, and I'm a specialist, I can tell you how to build it, he's wrong. It's about the team. We need an architect, we need an engineer, we need a security consultant, we need another team that we can cater to their needs, their specification, and work with them and the owner to deliver them the building they want. Because it's all together. It's about the owner and about grower, what they trying to accomplish, how they want to get to there, and what is their comfort level regarding the certain building methods or the materials, and also everything is associated with the cost. So how much money they want to involve,
Well,
pay
and
for it.
cost has become a big issue because I think people go in thinking it's a couple of million. All of a sudden, you hit 20 million. These are not cheap to build out.
They're not cheap to build out. And every grower has a different way they want the interior set up, so you could be, the range of costs is, it's night and day between growers, operators.
So you handle lighting, you handle AC. What have you seen in the different aspects of lighting, let's say? LED, not, it's
Sure.
advising people, clients, this is the better way to go.
Well, I guess it's not about us advising a client which way to go. It's about presenting them with the option, because every option is associated with the different technical spec, which will serve different growing needs. And also every option is associated with the different cost. So we present all those options to the client, to the grower, and we will help them to make an educated decision, because alternately they are the one who will be paying and using the facility.
Everybody, we've been speaking with Ed Silva and Margaret Cachel of Vantage Builders. Interesting, Walter, how this whole construction aspect of marijuana really is specialized.
Oh, I find it's, and the people are getting into it. You're a major construction company that really started out understanding construction and being able to transform into the cannabis business. I mean, it's not a fly-by-night business.
It's definitely not a fly-by-night business, and we can't stress enough, and Margaret has said it as well, about setting up the proper team, not just a general contractor, but the right mechanical, electrical engineers, and architect. And what you do is you build that relationship with the owners, the operators, the growers, and that really what makes a successful project in this industry.
Do you feel the industry for you is going to stay with the same momentum, or do you feel it's going to slow down, or it's not even finished picking up?
I guess it depends who you speak to. We don't see it slowing down at all on our end right now. Many folks you talk to say there's another 5 years in the industry, and then other folks say that things are going to start slowing down in the next couple of years. We are not seeing that challenge at all right now, because anything we're seeing that coming up new right now, you can count on that it's about a year out before they start breaking ground, 8 months to a year. Once they get financing and approvals and all of that.
And the Cannabis Control Commission is behind on their licensing, especially on cultivation. So there's a lot of growth for the industry.
There is. It seems that
Definitely.
way. And like I said, we don't see any slowdown as of right now, but that could change in the next couple of years.
Do you focus on the processing and cultivation facility, or do you do retail as well?
We do both.
Yeah, so typically what's happening is the cultivators, we're doing the cultivation facility for them, and then we end up providing them with the services for their retail facilities. And it seems more and more retail facilities are popping up. It seems like every day.
Yes, like right now I work probably on at least 5 at the same time, so, and this is
Well-
usually if you have a relationship with the owner, he can open, I guess, 3.
Be you a grower,
medical.
be you a retailer, how would they find you?
They could look at us on our webpage, which is Vantage Builders.
The word of mouth, we've being recommended by a lot of the end users.
But if
and
someone wanted to actively find you, they'd have to go to the website, correct?
Go to our website would be the best way.
Which is, say it for our listeners.
VantageBuildersInc.com.
Great.
It's www.vb-inc.com.
Great. Thank you very much for being on the show today, and thank you, Walter Sullivan, Jr.
Big J.
And for Jeffrey. Remind everyone, this is Radio Entrepreneurs. We'll be right back.